It's been interesting because since your article dropped, I gotta say, it has got all the buzz. If you are on X, if you're on Instagram, TikTok for the young kids, you know that Caitlin Clark is the Time Athlete of the Year. How has your 24 hours been since the articles dropped?
It's been awesome, and just the reaction. Obviously, people so excited not only about women's basketball but about women's sports, and how excited and deserving not only myself but just women's sports as a whole.
Consider obtaining the greatest honor in your professional life, only to be inundated with criticism from all sides, which is precisely what took place to Caitlin Clark following multiple mentions. The year's best athlete, but here's the catch. As the detractors flooded the media, legendary athletes stood up for her. Wish to know who is supporting Clark's? There are some Olympic legends on our side. Broadcasting experts, sports stars, and even a finalist for a Time Award who is broken. Their quiet defense and encouragement. Clark remained because, in the end, among the best athletes of all time is. Considering the matter, are you prepared? Come on, let's go.
Last night, we read Time magazine where Caitlin Clark was named Athlete of the Year. Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said, the WNBA is the league of the year because of all the talent that we have?
The Athlete of the Year award for Caitlin Clark. Prize should have been an instance of unadulterated. Rather than a celebration, it unleashed a tempest of unanticipated criticism. Some alleged that she had bent her knee to institutions that are envious, while others insisted that she share the limelight with the whole WNBA that she isn't participating in. Sufficient.
It's just not Caitlin Clark. It's Reese. We have so much talent out there that has been unrecognized. And I don't think we can just pin it on one player.
Johnson, Sheila, the Washington Mystics co-owner, expressed worries that Clark was being singled out, could lead to animosity within the. She proposed a league, but why couldn't they? The whole WNBA is featured on the cover. Claimed that the WNBA is the year's best league. Conversely, there are detractors like As. She was accused by Megyn Kelly of manipulating the. Clark's knee is a strange twist. Revolutionary accomplishment turned into a cause of conflict instead of solidarity.
Like Cinderella, like, I don't really want to go out with the prince. Please pay attention to these very unattractive stepsisters. That's really what she's saying. I know you don't want to look at them. You really want to look at me. But I feel bad about all the attention. And just take a minute to look at them because they, after all, did get this castle in the first place that I now am set to rule. No one's buying it.
But not. The criticism is being joined by everyone. The gold medalist from the Olympics is ready to step. Who is it that goes into the ring to protect Clark? You'll be shocked by what she must state as soon as you believe the argument. Olympic temperatures couldn't get any hotter. The champion chooses to include Gabby. Thomas isn't only a quick runner. Words have the potential to start a firestorm. Things might alter the topic of discussion. Thomas has always been around Caitlin Clark. Triple gold medalist in the Olympics from the sprinted inside the Clark Stadium for the 2024 Paris Games. Controversy at the same rate that she displays when Riley Gaines on the track disapproved of Clark Thomas's behavior. She retaliated on social media by saying, "Are you serious, Gaines girl? You don't. You must express your thoughts on everything. Do not participate in this cross-sport activity. Support is more than a fleeting emotion. It's a component of a larger movement in which athletes are supporting one another while breaking down boundaries between various sports." However, the discussion is far from over. A tennis legend will soon serve her own opinion on the Clark dispute, who is. You'll be shocked by what she says regarding women's support for female athletes. From hardwood flooring to clay courts, and a surprising voice joins Caitlin Clark's discussion on how this tennis legend's words have an impact on women's futures. Chris Evert, the 18-time sports star, a Grand Slam victor who dominated the 1970s and 1980s, saw the rise of women's tennis. Due of her intense rivalry on the Court Everett is now entering various arenas and the controversy concerning Time Athlete of the Year for Caitlin Clark. Honor after Sheila Johnson proposed the entire WNBA should receive this honor. Rather than Clark, Everett refused to accept it. She retaliated, protecting Clark's personal accomplishment. Caitlin Clark merits this honor due to her ability and contributions on and off the field. Everett stated in court that she stressed that Clark's acknowledgement is significant. For the first time, a basketball player deserves this. Everett's support for the esteemed title goes. It's more than just a defense of Clark. Strong declaration regarding celebration. Individual prowess in team sports. Voice valued far more than tennis contributes. The increasing chorus of cross. Support for Clark in sports, despite the NFL stars talk is far from ended, is going to handle this basketball. Confront the dispute head-on. What revelations will this professional football player brings the court? The NFL's Ryan Clark has just entered and he's not holding on to the basketball court. Back this former Pittsburgh Steelers player. Sports analysts are addressing safety turns. The Caitlin Clark dispute directly on Clark's pivotal podcast didn't merely support Clark, who stood up for her.
Obviously a huge fan of Caitlin Clark, the player. She was a huge draw to the reasons NCAA women's basketball grew.
Caitlin Clark's designation, Athlete of the Year, is well known. Clark said he praised her because she deserved it. Knowledge of privilege and race in it's beyond her years, according to Sports. Yet, Clark, it's not just about the prize. Emphasized Caitlin's handling of criticism, particularly her reactions to critics such as Kelly.
Then her next step into the WNBA, it was the same thing. Because of her physical gifts and intangibles as a hooper, more people tapped into it. Caitlin Clark being named the Times Athlete of the Year is well-deserved.
This is Caitlin's reality, according to Ryan Clark. He claimed that Clark's influence was unmatched. No single athlete has contributed to a sport. Her contributions to women's basketball in 2024 can be a big year coming from an NFL player, but wait, because a contentious media personality is about to further agitate the situation. What will this vocal individual contributes to the Clark's dialogue?
She's even being attacked by those that look like her. Megyn Kelly said, Caitlin Clark was on her knee apologizing. And Caitlin eloquently answered it in that, no, I just think I'm aware. I've always tried to understand what was going on around me, and I've always focused on blocking out the noise.
Simply, when you believed Caitlin Clark to be, there is no more fierce argument than this one. Dave Portnoy from Stool Sports joins the conversation. Renowned for his unvarnished views, Portnoy position on Clark is quite obvious. Does he notice that other people aren't there? In addition to defending Clark, Portnoy went in a flaming video. He declared his affection for her game that dates back to her college years. However, this is when the intriguing part begins. Portnoy blasted Clark's detractors, claiming that her popularity is completely irrelevant. He gestured to the hue of her skin, the fact that Clark plays differently than any woman, prior to her being a real game modifier.
But what do you want Caitlin Clark to do? What do you want Caitlin Clark to do? She plays in a league that is predominantly African American, and she wants to maybe show up at work and not have people hate her. She wants the league to be successful. The more successful, more stars, the better it is for her and everybody in the league.
However, Portnoy didn't end there. Criticized the hypocrisy of those who assert their support for Clark while disparaging her. For recognizing her advantage, you are crazy, he said, annoyed by the criticism of Clark. Portnoy's take. No one is being betrayed by Clark. She's acknowledging those who cleared the path now. A youthful tennis sensation who is said to be considered for the Athlete of the Year award. Award is going to consider what does what this emerging talent has to say regarding Clark's predicament. If you've reached this far and are finding the video entertaining, don't remember to like, subscribe, and activate all notifications that we are aware of while viewing this. It takes some time to watch the video, and we thank you. Let's get back to the action.
The best basketball player, female player on the planet, and getting everybody into women's sports and women's basketball. She is in a no-win situation. No win. What? She didn't even say anything that inflammatory. It's the first time she ever spoke, and everyone's like, who supported her before.
While the argument continues, another up-and-coming celebrity has subtly joined the discussion at the age of 19. She is already well known in the tennis world. What is the reason behind Coco Gauff's sudden interest in a collegiate basketball star's nuanced online motion that suggests a movement among Gen Z athletes is emerging? Coco Gauff, the world's second-ranked tennis player, trend has been creating waves on and off the court following her victory, receiving the inaugural WTA Finals trophy and acting as the Olympic flag bearer for Team USA. Her focus shifted to Caitlin while playing golf. Clark's time gave her a straightforward response, yet potent heart-eye emoji trio. On the Instagram photo of Clark, however, this isn't simply a haphazard social media action. Goodness, Gauff has been adhering to Clark's profession since her early days in Iowa, even setting warnings during the clay season in Europe to attend basketball games in which she participates. An expanding group of young women athletes helping one another out across sports is currently a tech businessman with extensive sports-related ties are about to weigh in. What does this titan of Silicon Valley have to discuss Clark's predicament when a technician mogul spouse is among the best, the greatest athletes of all time? Talk about people who follow sports pay attention. So why is Alexis Serena Williams' hubby Hanan jumps into the dispute between Caitlin Clark and his? A completely new dimension is added by perspective to the discourse. Ohanian, the Reddit co-founder, is more than just a tech genius who is an ardent supporter of women's athletics, and the moment he noticed the storm simmering around Clark, but he left quiet in an influential Twitter conversation. Ohanian upheld Clark's entitlement to honor her accomplishments while taking into account her advantages. What if I told you that you may have a celebration, brilliance, and realize your privilege? Ohanian expressed his admiration for Clark's self-knowledge and her capacity to manage the limelight, but this is where things get oddly. Ohanian didn't merely defend Clark, pointed out how she's favorable effect on women's basketball was a pivotal moment for the sport. She has had to enter a huge being in the spotlight at such an early age. There is a lot of sports in our nation right now is far more fortunate as a result of her and the way in which Caitlin Clark has managed everything. Totally worthy of her recognition. This she received for her excellence, and he composed Opan's phrases with self-awareness as well. Bear weight, demonstrating how the realms of social issues and tech sports are clashing in novel and surprising ways. And still not finished, Ohanian concluded his thread expressing enthusiasm about when Clark tweets in the future. We're all eager to see what 2025 has in store, and rest assured, we did not overlook his. We'll share Serena, our wonderful wife. Thought soon, but the discussion is still far away. For more than a seasoned sports writer is ready to contribute with decades of discover what this season pro will. Something to say regarding Clark's circumstances.
They co-opt somebody who is not on your side, never said they're on your side, never want to stand for what you're standing for in the beginning. They're just being them. And that's what Caitlin has done from the jump. So anyone who's mad at Caitlin Clark right now for saying she wants to elevate the league, she respects the players that came before them and know that they put in all the work that allows her to be in a professional league. Yes, that allows her to be in a professional league. If you have a problem with that, you were never a Caitlin Clark fan, and you're part of the problem too.
Regarding few voices in women's sports are as powerful weight as decades-old Christine Brennan, with expertise encompassing the largest Brennan's perspective on athletes and stories. The drama surrounding Caitlin Clark shocked ripples across the sports industry. What did this season reporter observes that others missed Brennan's lack of restraint during her live appearance with Laura Coates on CNN. She launched into an impassioned defense of highlighting the young star's Clark remarkable effect on the WNBA. Brennan gestured to the rapidly rising TV ratings and full arenas as evidence of the impact of Clark.
It is of course, the player, the athlete of the year, and it's not the league of the year or the team of the year. Caitlin Clark deserves that. There's no doubt that Caitlin Clark, the impact that she had on the league was extraordinary. The TV ratings, the attendance, the sellouts, even Sheila Johnson's own team, the Washington Mystics, moved their 2 Indiana Fever games from the 4,200-seat arena to the 20,000-seat arena, and in September had the biggest crowd in WNBA history because of Caitlin Clark. And Sheila Johnson knows that.
Brennan, however, saved her most. Remarks regarding Sheila Johnson's critique of it is undoubtedly the year's top athlete. It's not the year's league or the... Brennan said that she was the team of the year, emphasized that personal accomplishments issue in athletics, and Clark won her. Additionally, Spotlight Brennan commended Clark's initiatives to support Black women in basketball, saw how Clark regularly shows respect for trailblazers. Similar to Maya Moore, this type of subtle viewpoint that renders Brennan's voice is really valuable when speaking in dispute of strong voices. An ESPN host is ready to contribute to the discussion with her fierce. Clark's defense might potentially alter the... Are you prepared to hear what she has to say? To state.
She grew up idolizing Maya Moore with the Minnesota Lynx. As a girl, she went up there and watched her play and got a chance to hug her when she was a little kid, talks about Maya Moore all the time. Caitlin has been nothing but great on this issue of the Black women who have made the WNBA what it is.
Brennan, however, saved her most. Remarks regarding Sheila Johnson's critique of it is undoubtedly the year's top athlete. It's not the year's league or the... Brennan said that she was the team of the year, emphasized that personal accomplishments issue in athletics, and Clark won her. Additionally, Spotlight Brennan commended Clark's initiatives to support Black women in basketball, saw how Clark regularly shows respect for trailblazers. Similar to Maya Moore, this type of subtle viewpoint that renders Brennan's voice is really valuable when speaking in dispute of strong voices. An ESPN host is ready to contribute to the discussion with her fierce. Clark's defense might potentially alter the... Are you prepared to hear what she has to say? To state.
There's only one that can do what Caitlin Clark did. Bring all those eyes. For pure basketball purists, there's nobody like her. Now, culturally, we can make an argument, but like on the court, what she did, and I don't know if you saw, Indiana Fever yesterday posted this clip of Caitlin, and the caption was just her accolades, and it took 5 minutes to read, and I'm like, girl, do you want to chill at all? She doesn't know.
Zero. And listen, I think this is probably the easiest decision to make, right?
Within the few voices in the sports journalism world captivate attention, much like ESPN's Elle Duncan. Not all anchors joined the Caitlin. She sparked the Clark conversation with a vehement defense that left detractors. Duncan frantically turned to Twitter too. Caitlin's comments broke through the cacophony. Time Athlete of the Year should have gone to Clark. Additionally, as a W member, it instantly increases the league's imply that she's wearing an unfair pedestal as a result of her recognition for a genuinely unique and the transformational year is ridiculous, she declared, retaliating against those who refused to accept the honor. But Duncan, she paused there and described how it's like, stating that since everyone is crucial for a team in both ways, it's possible that sports always honor personal achievements, and there's nothing about that is unjust unless it's being utilized to disparage the efforts of others.
We've never, ever seen somebody in this way capture an audience, capture a new audience, and be able to absolutely attribute real numbers and statistics to their popularity, right? Like million people watching, and certainly watching the national championship.
Why did Duncan defend himself? Her straightforward attitude to speaking to detractors. She pointed out the ridiculousness of implying that Clark was acting unfairly elevated in comparison to challenging the MVP notion itself. Team Sports Awards as the topic of discussion. Lashes out at a renowned sports analyst. Is going to weigh in on his opinion on Clark. May potentially alter everything, are you? Eager to hear his thoughts.
And what a lot of people weren't willing or were a bit reluctant to appreciate was the game on this young white sister of ours. She can ball. And oh, by the way, she was a great ambassador for the game. And by the way, she came in there and looked out for everybody else. For 22 years, they couldn't get chartered flights. That sister got there and it was done in 2 weeks. That's who Caitlin Clark is.
Simply, when you believed Caitlin Clark to be, there was no louder dispute than Stephen A. Smith takes the mic, renowned for his. Smith's loud voice and fiery takes did more than just stand up for Clark. He unleashed a extremely favorable tirade for her.
She spoke out against that. She got people paid. She got better travel arrangements. She increased the ratings and the revenue, which obviously the WNBA benefited exponentially because now you got a $200 million deal. All of these things being considered, you damn right. It is appropriate that she got Athlete of the Year. She is special, and she's coming.
On Smith commended Clark's influence on his show, Women's Basketball, demonstrating how she has increased the players' ratings, travel, and even higher pay over the league. Yet he continued. Smith criticized Clark's detractors there, implying that some of the reaction originates from bitterness about her accomplishments. When the white girl arrived on the scene, there was a group of SS who came before her that were significant and deserving of a great deal of credit. Smith said plainly that he highlighted Clark's function as a the game's ambassador, showcasing her abilities and her capacity for attention-grabbing to basketball for women.
She'll be there in 2028. Barring injury, she will be there. But she should have been there already. She really should have. It might have helped you even more. But you're lost.
However, wait, because a real tennis legend, among the best athletes of all time, is ready to provide Clark some guidance. What insight will this timeless great share? A bridge from one icon to another forms across the sports divide. Serena Williams is accustomed to the tough, stepping onto the basketball spotlight court using words rather than a racket. In Caitlin Clark's opinion, what knowledge can a tennis legend provide to Serena, the future of women's basketball? The 23-time Grand Slam champion Williams is well-versed in confronting thorough examination that she has undergone and emerged victorious. Now she's giving Caitlin some sage counsel. If people are unfavorable, Clark, it's since they are incapable of doing what you do. Williams essentially shared and applauded Clark's capacity to maintain his composure and steer clear of the negativity trap on social media. However, Williams did more than just give guidance. She talked candidly about her personal difficulties. It's a strong instance of vulnerability from one of the biggest icons in sports. Williams' statements are significant not only because to her athletic accomplishments, but because she has followed Clark's path, now experiencing Williams' effects. Support is more important than ever. It's more than a simple pat on the back, transferring the torch that Williams is displaying. How to handle the rough waters. Clark, of notoriety and criticism as dust, resolves this dispute with a single query. Still, where is the WNBA in this whole situation? Envision Caitlin Clark at the height of her profession. She finds herself in a flurry of compliments and critiques from Olympic champions to the voices of media moguls. The sports community has united to her defense, but among all of this noise, one voice is noticeably silent: the WNBA itself.
A little girl wants to grow up and play in a league where you're targeted like that. How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take women's sports seriously when you can't even take it seriously enough to not act like a junior high queen on the court? It's stupid. That's so dumb. It looks like a soap opera.
Clark's trapped in an unfeasible situation. Despite being praised for her talent, chastised for recognizing her privilege, and attempting to make everyone better, she's smashing records, but she's also confronting. Insists on sharing her spotlight, which is a close RPP stroll without a safety net. The silence of the WNBA is so profound that this assault on their future star, the absence of official backing for the league increases. Why isn't the organization raising eyebrows? Clark's role in supporting her. It's a question that keeps coming up. The realm of sports. The journey of Caitlin Clark demonstrates to us just the complexity of fame in women's. She's shattering records in sports and attracting large crowds, but also having to deal with unexpected corners. Criticism is a reminder that achieving success frequently requires a evaluate the WNBA's prospects and its. Will Clark stars remain in the balance? Usher in a new age of popularity with your arrival and acknowledgement, or will the league keep fighting for attention? Let us know in the comments if you think it deserves it. Like to subscribe and activate everything. Alerts to ensure you don't miss anything. Select the video that appears on the screen and I'll see you at the following one.